Thousands of isolated data points, contradictory rules, and fragmented observations swirl through the modern mind. Most of the time, they collide without any clear structure. Without a cognitive compass to organize these nodes, daily decision-making defaults to this same disorganized chaos. Developing a personal philosophy requires a version-controlled software system capable of filtering reality through a rigid architecture. To build this framework, we must strip our current assumptions back to first principles and reconstruct the mind layer by layer. This engineered approach to thought provides the structural foundation necessary to replace reactive decision-making with a deliberate, high-fidelity process. This schematic shows how a functional mind architecture is divided into 3 integrated pillars. First is ethics, governing our actions and moral baseline. Second is logic, dictating how we process information. The final sector, existential meaning, establishes our long-term legacy. These 3 pillars form a complete circuit. They are designed to translate abstract values into objective, measurable behaviors in the real world. To begin the construction, we must define the system's absolute moral baseline within the ethics pillar. Consider the diagnostic scenario of finding a lost wallet full of cash with no witnesses. The choice to return it depends entirely on the system's primary driver. This diagram outlines 3 distinct ethical paths. The top path is the outcome focus, maximizing the greatest good, and the middle path is the rule focus, dictated by universal rules. The bottom path is the character focus, prioritizing integrity as an internal component. We will lock in this character focus, or virtue ethics, as our chosen ethical baseline. By selecting this baseline, the system's operational objective shifts. It moves from asking, "What should I do?" to the more fundamental, "Who do I want to be?" A character focus requires constant calibration because virtues often conflict with one another in real-world scenarios. This scale visualizes the Aristotelian golden mean, the precise center point between extremes. This friction is most visible when harsh, unfiltered honesty clashes with the deep empathy required to protect someone's emotional well-being. We resolve this conflict by identifying understanding as the calibrated midpoint between these 2 extremes. In this architecture, understanding uses objective truth to build the scene, establishing the facts, while tailoring the delivery to the specific needs of the other person. This balance requires consistent integrity, meaning you strive to be the same reliable person whether you are dealing with a friend or an enemy. Under this framework, moral action is a dynamically calibrated response designed specifically to protect internal integrity. We now transition to the second pillar, logic. Processing information requires the same structural integrity as moral action. We manage our knowledge and our ignorance through intellectual temperance, applying the golden mean to our information processing. This table identifies the primary intellectual failure modes. On the left is the scatterbrain, who remains stagnant because they lack an organized cue for their thoughts, leading to intellectual chaos. On the right is the blabbermouth, an extreme of intellectual arrogance where unverified claims are shared without a filter. They fail by consistently overestimating their own knowledge, creating misinformation. The optimal configuration is the systematic architect. Operating on epistemic humility, the architect avoids both chaos and arrogance by treating every new idea as unverified software. The systematic architect manages information through a rigid internal system of queuing and benchmarking. This UI schematic shows how all raw, unverified information is immediately placed into the queue. Across from the queue is the benchmark, the vault containing the trusted, verified versions of reality. Moving an idea requires a trigger, such as utility or proven survivability, or finally, corroboration. The architect relies on corroboration as the absolute trigger to version up an idea. Corroboration establishes truth by checking claims against multiple independent sources to strip away subjective bias. By treating beliefs like software that must pass strict quality assurance, the mind is protected from adopting faulty, untested models of reality. With the foundation complete, we can see the moral intent of the character focus paired with the rigid mechanics of architected logic. Data now flows from these first 2 sectors into the final pillar, existential meaning. Meaning is the deliberate output of the ethics and logic systems working in tandem. The moral baseline defines the specific character and legacy you intend to leave behind. The logic system provides the verified data and historical benchmarks required to build that legacy. This fully integrated structural architecture functions as a massive iterative engine, processing the raw data of the past to continuously optimize the future. In this system, growth is the ultimate virtue, the continuous act of reviewing and updating the intellect based on hard evidence. This continuous improvement is possible because the foundation is built on corroborated facts, not on isolated or unverified claims. A personal philosophy is an operating system. When properly architected, it transforms the chaos of human experience into a verified blueprint for a meaningful life.